Hey, what is up guys? So we are going to be doing the deck profile that all you guys have been wanting me to upload, and it is the Doriado Enchanted Fitting Room Synchro Quasar deck that's absolutely crazy and a lot of fun to play. So first off, I do want to mention that this deck is kind of an RNG Luxac based deck because there are times where you will open up with bad hands, but there are things to circumvent that and kind of help adjust for them. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into the deck profile. I know it looks strange if you guys haven't seen the duel already using this deck. I'm going to link it down below in the description box. Make sure you guys check that out so you can understand how good this deck is. And like I said, there are cards that can circumvent some of the bad hands because there are 10 vanillas in here. Anyways, let's go and jump right into it, and I'll kind of explain things as we go along. So first off, there are 2 copies of the Tomb Warrior. He helps you bust out specifically the Phonon Pulse Dragon. And the next up we have the United Resistance, the People Running About, and the Oppressed People. So I know these cards are wonky. You're like, why the heck would you play these vanillas? Alright, there's a card that's pretty good. It's almost a win condition in itself. It is the Huge Revolution. So this card can only be activated during your main phase while you have the People Running About, Oppressed People, and United Resistance face up on your side of the field. You send all cards in your opponent's hand to the graveyard and destroy all cards your opponent controls on the field. So that basically gets rid of everything on the board that your opponent has, so you keep your stuff. And then in addition to that, you are able to get rid of everything in their hand. And at that point, you can just say, game? Like, straight up, that is literally game right there, if you can actually pull off that combo. Nonetheless, after you activate this effect successfully, like I said, you usually just win the duel off of that. But in addition to that, maybe you can actually pull off a Quasar after that play. So very, very awesome little combo there for the Oppressed People. Yeah, like I said, they're terrible vanillas, but it doesn't really matter. Most vanillas in this game are pretty terrible. Anyways, next up, Harpy Chick, just because she's hot. This isn't my build, it's Delapro's build. He's the one that actually sent this, and I'll make some suggestions for you guys later on, but I wanted to keep it as the based original deck. But next up, we got 2 Water Spears. It's just a water, and it's a tuner, and it's level 1. And then Moki Moki, because look at him, he's just so freaking cool. And also, he technically is a light target. Next up, we have Flambeau Guard as our last vanilla monster. So that's it for the vanillas. Next up, we have 3 Dark Doriado. This card is what makes this deck. It's what makes the Doriado Quasar viable with the Enchanted Fitting Room. So when you summon this card, whether it's normal or special, you can choose 4 monsters from your deck: 1 Earth, 1 Water, 1 Fire, Wind. We go Captain Planet here, except for the heart. Anyways, we go ahead and just stack our deck, the Enchanted Fitting Room, and pretty much that secures us for game. And then next up, we have 2 copies of Summoner Monk. Summoner Monk gets you out Dark Doriado, which really helps out. I actually recommend playing some rank 4 monsters, specifically, if I could actually speak, Daigusto Emerald. That card is just so freaking good in this deck. In addition to that, you can add whatever you want to add, Cowboy, just whatever you want to add. Sometimes you need a clear board when you go Summoner Monk for this card, because otherwise you won't have enough room to throw out your cards. So yeah, that can definitely help out indeed. Next up, we have the Gemini Lazuli. So if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target 1 normal monster in your graveyard and you can add it to your hand. So that allows you to add back whatever you need to add back. And usually when you activate the effect of Lazuli, you're usually getting Seraph Knight's effect. So you're going to be able to get that additional normal summon. Therefore, that's what helps you make Quasar in a lot of scenarios. You can obviously make Quasar in a lot of different ways. That's just one version when you can make it. Next up, 3 copies of Enchanted Fitting Room. This card is just what makes this deck so freaking good. So you pay 8. Oh, is that Scout? Anyways, you pick up 4 cards and then you special summon all. Basically, you special summon all of them. Really, really good card. Don't activate this card blindly. It's not very advantageous because your chances are essentially like 1-4, I would say, on average, to actually get some of these cards. And you want to get it a higher chance. So in order to get that higher chance, obviously, you just stack your deck. So yeah, just wait for it. Wait for the combo piece and Soul Charge. So you can maybe make double Quasar if you want to change up some of the things in the extra deck. You definitely have access to that. And then next up, we have 2 copies of Tri White. So you get to target 3 level 2 or lower normal monsters in your graveyard, and you get to special summon them from the graveyard. So that can extend your combos again further, making other synchro plays if you want to. 3 copies of Twin Twister. Obviously, you have a lot of vanillas that you don't really want in your hand anyways. Same thing with Hand Destruction. You got a lot of cards you don't really need anyways. Might as well put them to good use. 3 copies of Brilliant Fusion, just because it helps you deck them and potentially make Quasar in different ways. Like I said, you have access to Seraph Knight. There's also the Amethyst. So This card has a little bit of utility technically because it has the ability to bounce back things. That's not too bad. In this deck, there's not anything that you can really bounce back that's too useful. Yeah, you can technically bounce back Brilliant Fusion, but for the most part, it just really comes down to you being able to return all set spell and trap cards on the field to the hand. As you guys know that this card is a level 7 unless my eyes are bad, so you can definitely use this card because anytime it's sent from the field to the graveyard, or you can just, I guess, if someone destroys it, then bounce back everything, good to go. However you want to, get rid of this card, you have access to getting rid of the card, and then on top of that, bouncing back everything is pretty advantageous, and then you can, again, activate this card again. Next up, we have 3 copies of Reckless, draw power, make it go Sonic Speed fast, because basically you only need 1 turn to go off in this deck and you win. Next up, we got 2 copies of Common Charity, so it helps with draw power, helps you mitigate some of the bad cards that you can draw into, because, yeah, you're playing 10 vanillas. And then we have 2 copies of Huge Revolution. If you want to drop this card completely, that's fine. Obviously, then you don't need to play the Press People. Then 1 draw of Avarice to kind of reset some of your plays, maybe if you want to stack your deck multiple times. Maybe you had a really bad hand, maybe you banish some of the cards. You have access to a draw of Avarice. For the extra deck, there's 1 Amethyst, 1 Seraph Knight, 1 Quasar, 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, 1 Trish, 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, 1 Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Vulcan the Divine, 1 Librarian, Armades, High Speed Chain Barter. Then we have Pulse Dragon, Tatsunoko, and 2 copies of Formula. If you guys want to add some rank force, highly recommend Daigusto Emerald. That card is pretty good just so you can reset some of your stuff. Heck, you can throw in this card if you really wanted to. Try out different levels of monsters, because as of right now we only have 1 level 2, but it's specifically done so you can obviously use the Huge Revolution and completely destroy your opponent. But it's a very, very fun and interesting deck. Have some fun with it, guys, because this is a really unique deck, and I haven't seen anything like this combo heavy. I like the concepts of Dark Doriado, Enchanted Fitting Room to make a synchro deck. A lot of times, like I mentioned before, guys, you do want access to a rank 4, not just because you can keep your extra deck available with variety in order to get rid of stuff. Castell's also a really good card. I would consider this a pretty high priority card in your extra deck as well. If you want to drop Amethyst, feel free to drop it. I never really used it myself. If you're wondering, wow, you play 3 copies of Brilliant Fusion, but only 1, well, if you want to, you can only play like 1 target. That's totally fine. If you resolve one of the effects, you usually win the game anyways, because you're going to go off for a huge extensive play, especially with Lazuli being able to add back that normal monster and get that additional summon. You're going to have easy access to Quasar. But Sky Blaster could be good, the Castell. Another card that could be good is Diamond Direwolf. So Direwolf could also be a card that you can have access to, just so you can maybe pop 1 back row before you go for Enchanted Fitting Room, because if this card successfully goes off, you usually can make at least a Trishula, at least a relatively good Synchro, because you can stack your deck to whatever you need to go for basically whatever you need to go for in order to pull off your combo. But for the most part, I think, like I said, it's a relatively fun deck, and I would say it's relatively inexpensive. I mean, there is Trishula, and like this card already got technically reprinted. I think most of the stuff is relatively common and easy to grab. I mean, we talk about Press People over here. Nothing in this deck should be expensive. Maybe some of the cards in the extra deck. Technically, we don't have this card out yet, but for the most part, your idea is to pull off like Trishula, Quasar, and like a lot of other like really great synchros in the game. But anyways, I had this pretty sick duel that I thought I'd share with you guys really quick. It'll just show you guys another explanation. If you guys haven't checked out this video though, I'll link it down below in the description box. Watch this video. It'll show you guys how good the deck can be. But I got another replay for you guys real quick so you guys can kind of get another concept of how you can pull off some good combos in the deck. The guy went kind of all in, but it's okay. So anyways, this was a replay we actually got last night when I was playing against it. Delapro was the guy that built the deck. He's not a net decker here. He's the OG. I was playing my Star Seraphs. I think Star Seraphs are a pretty fun deck. You guys know, I just like the mechanic of like, oh, I get to draw special summon, draw a special summon. Like, it's a really good mechanic, and it's not Pendulum. I would say it definitely got nerfed since Cyber Dragon Infinity. Can't be spammed because Tolmaeus is gone. I ended up twin twistering his Common Charity. I was hoping I would have hit like a set card that he couldn't activate, but it was Common Charity. But you'll see like how good this card is. Like, he goes Summon Monk, Dark Doriado. You can see he goes for the High Speed Roid Chain Barter, Bar Rider. Pretty good stuff indeed. So like, even though he's under Maxi, he felt like he could go for game. A lot of times you can technically go for game. He could have actually, let's see, if he activated this, he wouldn't have actually hit anything. He was just a few life points short. Had he activated this card's effect, he could have actually gained me because all I had was a face down Call of the Hunted. Actually, what's his other card? I don't know what I had in the group. I think I only had the Blade card, so I would have taken, let's see, 23 and, oh, that's actually 13, so I actually would have been alive by 300 life points. Unless he, yeah, actually I would have survived that. So, unless he, like, sacked me with Enchanted Fitting Room, I think we already looked at the cards, so it was irrelevant anyways, but you can see, I made double Ouroboros. I just wanted to get cards out of this guy's hand. I didn't want him to sack me again next turn, so yeah. We Ouroboros him pretty hard over here, then he Twin Twisters, and pretty much from that point on, like, he activates this, and I'm like, Maxi. So, even though, he pulled off the Quasar, I happened to draw so many cards off of Maxi. That's one thing that you will lose to. In any like synchro deck, you'll lose when someone activates Maxi, especially when it's like a synchro based version. So go ahead and just bounce back everything to the hand. But very fun deck. Thank you indeed, Delapro, for sending in this replay. And as well as also showing off this deck, because I thought it was really amazing. Very, very fun stuff indeed. But yeah, have some fun with the deck, guys. Let me know what you think of it. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. I definitely think Maxi is just a great card just for draw power instead. Even though with Common Charity, it is another great card, I feel like this deck is a very explosive deck. So you want to be able to draw a bunch of cards and then just go one turn and just beat them. So I think Maxi could be an excellent card maybe instead of Common Charity, because this card technically is a little bit slower. Maybe your opponent goes first, they special summon a bunch of times. But have some fun with it, guys. Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been your boy Will Smith. Make sure you guys give that like button a titty slap, and I'm signing out.